All right, I'd like to go over this speed dating or speed networking routine for number talks. And this is a 4-day process where your goal here is to establish a protocol that promotes student discourse through repeated explanation, reasoning, and justification. So how are we going to do this? So in day one, what you're going to do as a teacher is explain the process of why kids are doing number talks. Things like hand gestures, a lot of times we'll use put a thumb up if you have one strategy, and maybe a pinky up if you have two. So I say thumb for one, dude for two. And also explain to the kids the wait time. After you give a response, I'm going to wait a little bit to see if another kid has a response instead of me picking on students. So I want you to feed off of each other. Right. The problem you're going to give on the first day, and I'll give you an example that I did, was 6 plus 8. And you can pick whatever is appropriate for your class. Just know that if you're doing this for the first time, dot cards are a great place to start because you don't want the math to get in the way. So even if you're teaching 5th grade, dot cards could be a good place to start. So we did 6 plus 8, and the kids listed, I gave them, 30 seconds to kind of come up with a strategy. They put their thumb to their chest once they had one. Once they have them, or most of the kids have a strategy, we start listing them. And the kids list them as, you can call on them and, have them feed off of each other. But these are all the strategies that they came up with. And what I try to do is I try to tie names into these different strategies. Right, I call this 7 plus 7 the sandwich strategy because it's right in the middle and you double it. On day 2, all right, now this will take 15 minutes. It might take you 20 minutes, but hopefully that time gets faster the more you do these. On day 2, you're going to do a very similar problem. Slightly different though. All right, so here we used 5 plus 7. So the strategies they used for 6 plus 8, hopefully they're going to use again for 5 plus 7. This is that repeated reasoning piece. All right, day 3, same type of problem, maybe a little bit more difficult, and hopefully a lot of the same strategies. By the time we get to day 4, this is where the accountability pieces comes in, because on day 1, 2, and 3, you're kind of volunteering if you had a strategy. Here, we're going to give the students a series of problems, and know some of these are a little bit easy, some of them are a little bit harder, and they're going to pick one of these problems and come up with a mental strategy to explain that to another student. And then we're going to use a tool such as Flippity. I know that Flippity has this. There's other tools out there, but if you do the Flippity name picker and go to more, you can do speed networking. Kids are going to get paired up. And so here, Jane and Spencer, Jane would have to explain her problem and her strategy to Spencer. And then Spencer would explain his to Jane. This would take maybe 2 minutes total. All right. Then you would switch. They would get new partners, and they would explain the same exact problem to a new partner. And then you would do that a third time. So hopefully by the third time this kid has explained this problem, they are really sound in their explanation. It's faster, it's cleaner. Just like when you teach a class for the 5th time, you get done faster because you kind of see all the hurdles and hiccups that students might have. Students will do the same thing. All right. Now, during this whole process, while they're explaining, you're walking around the class, you're listening to the conversations, trying to identify maybe some misconceptions or things like that. All right.